All right, you guys, Mr. Medellin here, and today we're going to be doing chest. So we're going to be doing PA and left lateral. All right, we're going to be doing those erect. Those tend to be the two most standard exams that we do throughout the world, in addition to the AP semi-erect or the AP supine chest that we do. So we have our patient here, we have our receptor, we have a shield, and we have our x-ray tube here, and we got our stand here. I got some markers right over here, so let's go ahead and get going. We're going to go ahead and get our receptor here. I'm going to put it lengthwise. Put this inside our wall bucky. Pull that out. I always keep my hand underneath the receptor, so in case it comes down. And before I bring the patient back, I've already seen the patient. I'm looking at the patient. I'm assessing the patient. I kind of gauge how they're breathing. I'm looking at body habitus. I'm looking at the height of the patient as well. So that way when I set it up, I just have to make minor adjustments as I go. All right. So with chest, we're going to be doing 72 inches SID. We're going to make the beam perpendicular to the part here. And there we go. Pretty close. 71.9. All right. I was off by what, 1/10 of an inch? All right. So there we go. 72 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and center here. I'm going to center to 14 by 17 inches lengthwise here. So again, if you're using centimeters, we just to convert it. So again, I'm using 14 by 17 inch field. I get this set up here. You can see it's pretty close right here. This is off like 1/4 of an inch, just a little bit, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to have our patient come over here. We're going to go ahead and make sure you do all your introductions, your verification of the patient. We do ADET here. We acknowledge the patient, introduce. We do duration, explain the exam, and then we thank them at the end, okay? So again, we're going to have her in a gown. She's removed everything above the waist, nothing in this area whatsoever. We give them the gown. Usually the gown goes open in the back. Sometimes some patients, you give them 2 gowns, especially if they're a little bit more modest. That's okay. But we're going to have you step right over here. You're going to put your chest against this board here. I'm going to grab my shield here. I'm going to have you help me out here. Just kind of grab that with your wrist, and you're going to meet me around this other side here. There we go. Okay. Now, where do we center for a chest? It's going to be at the level of T7, right? So that's going to be the bottom of the scapula. That's going to be this distance right here. You can go about 7 to 8 inches below the vertebral prominence from this point here. Some people do this little hang loose brother thing here, right? So about right there, but we're going to center at the bottom of her scapula, which is here. That's going to be at the level of T7. I have a long enough wingspan where I can hit the collimator. And now I'm just going to make my adjustment. I'm going to come down right there, just like that. Now I have to bring this down. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to watch your chin here. We're going to lower that here. All right. So if we can have you take a step to your right, just so I can see that light right there. There we go. All right. So now we're going to have you put your chest against the board. Step right over here. So now we have to go ahead and roll the shoulders forward. And by the way, you guys, I should have told you this before. I would have my technique set already. For a chest exam, you use anywhere between 90 to 110, 120 kV for your larger patients. And on a high frequency system, we're using about 1.2 to 2 mass for a chest exam. So it just depends on your generation systems. So we're going to roll your shoulders forward. I'm going to go ahead and place the hands here just like this. You're going to roll the shoulders forward to get what? To get the scapulas out of the way. So before, when her arms were down, the scapula are superimposing over the lung field. So by rolling the shoulders forward, you're going to go ahead and get the scapula turned outward, and it's going to remove them from the field, okay? So we're going to do that. Chin has to be elevated so that the mandible's not in the way. I have here a left marker. I'm going to put my left marker right over here, right on top of her shoulder, right here in that light field here. Make sure I got it here. I'm going to come down just a hair right there. Make sure I'm not in the anatomy. All right. Now, if you had a male patient and they measured more than 34 centimeters going across, then you would have to turn the receptor crosswise, okay? So just keep that in mind. All right, I have that set right here, just like that. Okay, don't move, all right? When I go back there, I'm going to have you do some breathing instructions. I'm going to have you breathe in. You're going to let it out. and then you're going to breathe in, and you're going to hold it, okay? Do you understand my instructions? Okay, they validate it. All right, now I'm going to do the moonwalk or play safety back in the days of football. You breathe in, let it out, breathe in again, and hold it. Don't move, stay just like that, okay? X-ray, beep. Okay, go ahead and breathe and relax. All right, stay in that position here. You can put your arms down. All right, you did a great job. I'm going to take this marker over here. I'm going to place it on the left side now because we're going to do a left lateral. We're going to have you turn this way towards that wall. We're going to turn the shield towards your side. There we go. All right. Now, before I came back here, I set my technique. I increased the mass or the kV accordingly for the lateral. Okay. So I would use about 100 kV, 110 kV at about 6 mass on this lateral right now. It just depends on the body habits of your patient. We're going to have you raise your arms up just like this. Can you touch your hands and your elbows? There you go. And take a step towards the board. There you go. Take a small step forward and kind of separate your feet a little bit. All right, there you go. You kind of want to have a broad stance with the feet because if the feet are too close together, the patient will start to teeter or have a tendency to rock a little bit. We want to make sure that they're separate. The feet are separate. Okay, right there is good. Okay, don't move. All right. Okay, just like that. We're going to give you the same breathing instructions, okay? Don't move. I'm going to yell at you from behind this wall. Okay, go ahead and breathe in. Let it out. Breathe it again and hold it. X-ray. Beep. Okay, you can go ahead and breathe and relax. Now, on the lateral, you can relax. On the lateral, notice we were centered at the mid-coronal plane and we were at the level of T7. Notice we didn't change anything with the equipment. Now, when you do a lateral, you're allowed to have about maybe a ½ inch of being non-superimposed, but we try to get it as perfect as we can. But because of the divergence of the X-ray beam, sometimes it'll cause one of the lung fields to kind of shift off a little bit, okay? So again, when we did the PA chest, we had the patient breathe in and breathe out, and we were able to see at least 10 posterior ribs on a well-expired PA chest. On this left lateral, we're getting a lateral view, changing the perspective of the anatomy that we're seeing. Remember, as a radiographic rule, we usually do an AP or PA, and then we do 190 degrees from that because the anatomy, you're going to see it in a different perspective. So what you couldn't see from a front or back view, you're going to see it on a lateral perspective. All right? You can go ahead and relax. All right? So this is your P and left lateral chest. You can go ahead and step back over here. We'll take the shield off you. Okay, and if I can I tell a really quick story really quick? All right, so when I first started as a tech, I was about getting the patient in and out really quick, and I remember this story that kind of helped me ground myself and give me a little bit more understanding of how to have compassion for people. So I remember calling this patient back, and he was an outpatient. I brought him back, and I set him up for the PA chest, and as I ran behind the wall, when I looked through the window, the patient was gone. And I'm like, where the heck did this patient go? And I'm looking, and then I hear a voice behind me say, hello, almost like Mickey Mouse, almost kind of high-pitched voice. And I looked behind me, and it was the gentleman that I had just positioned for the X-ray. And I'm like, sir, what are you doing here? He's like, I ran with you, right? And I'm like, well, you're not supposed to run with me. What are you doing back here? And he was like, I ran with you. I'm like, okay, where's this going, right? So I brought him back. And I said, you need to stand still. I reposition him. He turns back around and he says, sing a song with me. And I'm like, what is going on, right? I'm like, sir, I'm not going to sing a song with you. I'm thinking about the next patient that I have. I know I got 3 more orders to do. And I'm like, sir, I'm not going to sing a song with you. And he's like, sing a song with me and then I'll take a picture with you. And I'm like, sir, I'm not going to go ahead and sing a song. And then he starts singing, she'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. A lot of people don't know that song. It's kind of an older song. But I'm like, sir, I'm not going to sing with you. He goes, sing the song and then I'll take the picture with you. And I'm looking around, you guys, and I'm like, man, So I start singing the song with him, you guys. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. We get through all the white horses, you guys. I'm not going to lie, I kind of enjoyed the song a little bit after that. But I said, okay, sir, we sang the song. Now can we take the picture? Can we take the X-ray? And we ended up, you guys, I did the PA, I did the left lateral. And in my head, I'm thinking, this is the most bizarre exam that I've ever done with a patient. I take him back to the room, the waiting room, and there's a young lady there. And she says, I wanted to be here when you took my grandfather. She said, I hope he didn't give you much of a hard time. And I said, you know what? why do you say that? She goes, well, he's suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's, and he's been regressing towards childlike behavior. And then she says, I apologize if he gave you a hard time. And I looked at her and said, no, he was one of the best patients of the day. So I remember that, and I keep that to myself, and I share this with people, because you got to remember, you guys, that we don't know what the condition of the patient is. I could have lost my patience. I could have not had the understanding to get the exam done. So the moral of the story is, learn that song, but also have compassion for your patients. Okay. All right, you guys, thank you for your time, and we look forward to doing more videos with you. Hello, everyone, you guys. Thank you very much for watching the videos. I'm hoping that they're helping you out. Please make sure that you subscribe and that you hit the notification bell to be notified about new videos. Again, remember to be good to yourself and be good to others. Thank you.